What is going on out there, peeps? All right, let's get back into silver. Sorry, I've been away for a little while. I've been trying to do a lot of moving, house cleaning, if you get my drift. All right, but look, people are asking me, Pimpy, are we really making a difference when it comes to silver squeeze? You are. Trust me that you are. We already seen what's going on in the comics here. I showed you guys a video in which the 1,000-ounce bars on wholesale level, premiums went from 20-something cents to 80-something cents. You are making a difference. But now, it's not just here. We're seeing it affect the London market. Now, look, again, people will say, how realistic is this? It's only as realistic as we stick together as a team. I told you they're going to try to lie to you. They're going to try to drop the value of it, try to shake amateurs and speculators, but nobody's falling for it. Nobody. That's right. You keep holding, you keep holding. I don't care if it's just 1 ounce. I don't care if it's 2 ounces. Whatever you can, continue to remove the silver off the market. It is having an effect, and I'm going to prove it to you. Okay? But if you are thinking about moving some silver off the market, why don't you give our consideration to our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange? The link is in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code PIMPY, P-I-M-P-Y, and get a free half-ounce of silver. I must give a quick shout-out to the Kansas City Chiefs for winning the Super Bowl. Yes. What happened is once the game was over and everybody went home, in the middle of the night, somehow magically, they ended up with 4 touchdowns that were mailed in. Yes. So much for Tom Brady winning. The Kansas City Chiefs are now the Super Bowl winners. Sorry. I couldn't resist. This is a funny joke, by the way. You want to see something sexy? I'll show it to you. Look at that. Woo! Those are 100-ounce bars. Yeah. Look at them. They're heavy. Sexy. Anyways, you guys, look, I just thought I would brag a little bit, and I showed you a couple of my 100-ounce bars. I love them. Get them from Money Metals. Okay? So let's get into the good stuff. Wow, of course, you know I got the hidden things in front of your eyes. It is my other YouTube channel. I encourage you guys to come over there and join me because I talk about subject matters that I cannot talk on this particular YouTube channel, but I'd like for you to join me over there. All right. So what's going on in precious metals as well as cryptocurrencies? Well, cryptocurrencies are on a run, like about out of how, and I don't mean a little bit. Over the past 2 months, they have been seeing really significant increases, but I can't help but to continue to feel like this is just their way of trying to keep you from buying precious metals. My first instinct is to say don't fall for it. But can you make money on it? Look, if you're diversified right now and you have cryptocurrencies, then by all means, boo-boo do you. Okay? So if you want to buy cryptocurrencies, there is a link down in the description. Follow it, and it'll take you to a website where you can buy cryptocurrencies. If you follow it, it'll give you 10 free dollars just for following the link. Look at over here, 52-week highs, man. We're looking at highs on 52. Look at all of them at the 52-week high level. That shows you that there's a mass run, but what you can't explain to me is why. That's why I'm weary about it. That's why I don't trust cryptocurrencies. But having said that, I'm smart enough to know there is a window of opportunity in which you can make money off it. Again, there's a link down there to do so. Bitcoin on a run again. Look at this, 47,980. They're going to get there. They'll pass that up tonight. Ethereum, my favorite. Nobody can well, there is one. It's called a GESARA or whatever it is. Anyways, they got new record highs and they're about to pass it up again. By the time you wake up in the morning, they will have passed it. Look at XRP. For those of you who are interested in XRP, you're going, Coinbase won't let us do it. Most platforms don't, but there are platforms out there in which you could buy, trade, and purchase XRP. But if you're on Coinbase, all you have to do is get a VPN and change your location, and you could buy, sell, trade back on Coinbase like it was nothing. So remember when it dropped down to like 19 cents, and I was like, yeah, you know, I don't know. There's something about this. I'm not feeling it. It feels like this is trick. You know, right now, buy on a dip. That'd have been at 19 cents. If you bought a lot of them, you would be kicking booty right about now. Keep an eye on the polka dots. There's one, polka dot 2. Both of them new highs earlier today, and it looks like they're going to hit it again by tonight. So they somehow, some way, tend to keep going the same direction that Ethereum is going into. Litecoin 203. I do believe the 208. This is their record high. I might be wrong on that. Stellar Lumis. Are you kidding me? Bam. When I had these, man, it was like 0.006, and now they're up to 56.86. This is a nice run. So again, there's a lot of cryptocurrencies. You see them all green, but what you can't tell me is why. That's why there's a part of me. Now, when it comes to all cryptocurrencies, There's so many use cases for Ethereum. It's the only one that I trust and believe in. Now, having said that, that doesn't mean you can't make money off these other cryptocurrencies. We're in that window now. But I'm not being fooled. There's something that tells me that what's going on with cryptocurrencies is an artificial pump, and they're trying to keep you away from the precious metals. So be careful. Make sure you have plenty of precious metals, especially silver, because we are making a difference. Let me show you something about the ratio between gold and silver. What that means is how many ounces of silver do I need to trade just to get 1 ounce of gold? Gold. I love gold. Okay, what'd you just do here? Come on. Okay, so here we are. So the ratio has really gone down. For those who don't remember, last March, it was at some ridiculous level. So what does this mean to people who buy and trade precious metals? Well, I'm going to show you. We go back over here. Remember this? Back in March. You know what I mean? You were getting, where are we at right here? It was at about 100 and, I don't know, 26. Is that what I figured out here? But I'll show you. Look. Here's how you can make money trading metals. So back in March right here, let's say it was 126 ounces of silver. This is the ratio. So for every 1 ounce of gold, you can trade it and get 126 ounces of silver. So for 10 ounces, you would get 1,260 ounces of silver. Okay, that's what we're looking at. That's way over here. As the ratio gets lower, like it is now, 66.75, this is how you make money trading when the ratio changes, right? So what does that mean, Pimpy? I'm going to show you. So take those same 126 ounces of silver that you got back in March. Remember, you traded all your 10 ounces of silver or gold, and you got 126 ounces of silver in your ratio. So for your 10 ounces of gold that you traded, you ended up with 1,260 ounces of silver. Where we are today, if you took those same 1,260 ounces of silver and exchanged it based on this current ratio, that means you would get back 18.88 ounces of gold. See how that works? Look at that. You've earned since March 8.88 ounces of gold. So you can make money just by swapping metals and trading it. See how that works? And that's why the ratio is so important when I talk about it. Okay? This was ridiculous. I remember people like, wow. I was like, what the hell? When you see the ratio that far apart and there's a gap that big, because historically it's usually around 15 ounces of silver for every 1 ounce of gold. So you can make a lot of money. So once you have a lot of silver and the ratio starts getting lower, you do want to trade over to gold. And as the ratio gets big again, then you take some of your gold, you buy silver, trade it for silver. Then when it comes down, see what I mean? You just keep adding to your inventory without ever spending anything. That's how that works. That's how the rich get rich. Let's go over here to SD Bullion, which I love a lot. You guys, listen. Remember I told you there's a stress on the comics. We are looking at 1,000-ounce bars. Premiums increasing. There's making a small dent, but it's something to talk about and it's something to brag about. But we're not done. It's affecting other markets. So keep buying silver. Real quick as a reminder, if you like the video, right now would be a good time for you to go ahead and smash the like button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel. So let's listen to what SD Bullion is saying, because it's important for you to hear.
Silver in London is running low. Ronan Man.
Sorry, I got to interrupt. Did you hear that? Silver in London is running low. Damn right it is. So this is affecting inventory around the world. Don't quit. Hold on. Don't give up. We're making a difference.
Stanley at Bullion Star reported this week on Zero Hedge the following. With the ongoing silver squeeze and huge associated dollar inflows into silver-backed exchange-traded funds, it's now time to look at which of these ETFs store their silver in the Lbma vaults in London, England, and to calculate how much physical silver these combined funds store in these London vaults. The Lbma London vaults are run by 7 vault operators, which comprise 3 bullion banks, JP Morgan, HSBC, ICBC, Standard Bank, and 4 security firms, Brinks, Malcolm.
Is it me, or is it just that JP Morgan seems to be on every market? Yeah, those are the boogeymen.
Loomis, and G4S. Here we have a breakdown that's in Ronan's article. that shows that roughly 28,698 tons of silver are allocated, which is roughly 85% of all the silver that is LBMA reports in London.
Nice.
That leaves only 4,911 tons of silver from the LBMA's total of 33,609 tons.
Yeah.
Not already accounted for. Here's a LBMA London Silver Holdings chart illustration of how fast this has happened. See the gray silver bar allocation expansion.
Nice, see that?
According to Ronan's best estimates, just over 100 to 125 million troy ounces of silver remain unallocated in London. As we've seen thus far in 2021, that amount of silver can be bought out by investors in a mere matter of a few heavy buying and silver betting days.
Did you hear that? The remaining amount of inventory can easily be bought out in days. So you don't think there's a shortage out there of precious metal? Well, silver, that is. Then explain to me how we're not even 2 weeks into February, 6 weeks into the year, and already their year's inventory is damn near depleted. Yeah, we're making a difference. See, I told you guys, this is a rough ride. It's going to be a roller coaster. But if you're persistent and you don't fall for the traps and the tricks of them manipulating the market, dragging it down, and trust me, they will. They'll do shit like drag it all the way down to $10, $9 an ounce. So you don't get frustrated, you don't get mad, you just keep holding on. Eventually, that ball is going to pop from under the water up to the surface. They're not able to scare or shake speculators as easily as they used to. You guys are now educated. You know, don't fall for that trap. What do we do on a dip? Buy on a dip. So when I dip, you dip, we dip. Okay, so, all right? So you're doing a great job, people. Everybody, just keep contributing if you can. If you got discretionary funds, start taking the silver off the market. If you're new to this, go to the Money Metals website. Buy some silver. If you spend over $100, use promo code Pimpy. But the point being, we're this early in the year and already we're seeing a shortage. That's what we want. All right. A little bit more, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Hold on.
Around 66.
That's the ratio. I just showed you that right now.
To roll down into the 50s.
Again, I showed you guys how you can make money off just swapping metals. Gold for silver when the ratio is really high, then silver back to gold when the ratio is really low.
During the next monetary metals rally. Very high price premiums for both American silver and gold eagle bullion coins continue. How much longer until both respective spot prices catch up with the physical ask prices for the world's most often bought bullion coins?
That's where those 1,000-ounce bars are starting to come into effect because they're buying them to use them to melt down and create these coins.
Earlier this week, I sat and listened through a bunch of silver squealer interviews, scoffing at the influence of new silver bullion and PSLV share buyers. And this week, I wanted to focus on the head of commodities research at Goldman Sachs, Jeff Currie. Let's begin with his February 2nd interview. Following footage is courtesy of CNBC.
Yeah, Jeff, I just want to push back against something you said, not because I think you're wrong, but I want you to clarify it.
No, he's wrong. This is a Goldman Sachs person. I told you when it comes to JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, these people from Yahoo News, anybody like that, we don't give a shit what they say. We watch what they do. They have a habit of telling people, hey, don't buy gold, it's a bad move, and then all of a sudden they buy large amounts of it. This is one of these shills, these liars. Their job is to mislead you.
You point out that it would be impossible for retail investors to force a squeeze in something like silver and the differences between cornering a commodity versus squeezing a stock. But I remember 10 years ago, there was a moment when GLD, the gold ETF, had more assets in it in dollar terms than the SPY. And I do think that GLD was moving the price of gold. I can imagine a similar situation with silver and the silver ETF if people get excited enough about it, where what happens in the markets ends up influencing what happens with the actual metal in real life. You're saying you don't think that that's a possibility?
But here's the main reason why I don't think it's possible to squeeze one of these markets like what the Hunt brothers did in 1980. You got position limits in these markets, and they've gotten tighter and tighter. There's 7.5 million ounces right now, which means that if you were to squeeze it, you would have to divvy up the position to get the inventory off the exchange 53 times, which each position worth $217 million, and then do it in a coordinated fashion. That's why I say it's incredibly unlikely.
Yeah. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for
It's not like the CFTC actually bothers to enforce position limits amongst various commercial banks. For instance, there's Goldman and JP Morgan running well over 1,500 stopped contracts in their house accounts just last year. Oh, and by the way, just a handful of days before Jeff Curry went on TV and misspoke to everyone, the CME Group's COMEX silver futures contract size limits doubled from 1,500 to now 3,000 contracts. So the amount of days that he was saying it would take, you can cut that in half. COMEX traders can now legally hold sway over a 15 million leveraged price discovery derivative position. Since JP Morgan has such an outsized position underlying over half the fractional silver bullion COMEX pile, it will be through their warehouse's size that they will likely continue trading exempt from these new 3,000 contract position limits, working for alleged clients like perhaps the People's Bank of China, for instance, or perhaps looking to double-cross their competition.
JP Morgan's biggest client is China. They are. So when they manipulate the markets, they do a lot on behalf of China. So even when we're doing sanctions and stuff against them, it really didn't have much of an effect because all they would do is just tell JP Morgan and allow the value of silver to go up, and they could make up the difference on what they lost in sanctions. So look, we are putting a squeeze on it everywhere. Let's just look a little bit more because I want to hear what they have to say.
By going long, while some of them may be short. Now, while the media continuously wants to spin this ongoing silver squeeze, playing it off as some mere retail bullion buying populism, the underlying truth is that we will likely continue to see larger financial players, commercial users, and perhaps even sovereign nations enter into this fray. Some to make mere momentum trade profits, but some perhaps even to better secure strategic silver bullion stockpiles for their future. Here again is Goldman Sachs' Jeff Curry, again on February 2nd, covering some corollaries between the emerging 2020 silver and commodity bull versus the 1970s post-full fiat Federal Reserve note commodity bull.
Then you had the Cold War with Russia. Now we have a quasi-Cold War with China that can require spending. In fact, the big move in agriculture that we have seen over the last week is buying by the Chinese. They're building strategic reserves of grains, very similar to what the U.S. and Europeans did back.
Look at this upswing. This is huge.
In the 70s when they built their strategic reserves. So, the analogy here in the magnitude is probably something more similar to the super cycle of the 70s than the one of the 2000s.
What we're looking at now is net Chinese silver production plus imports. It's only the last handful of years that they've plateaued around 3,500 metric tons per year, a little over 110 million ounces per year. Now, that's nowhere near enough silver for the coming production needs and ambitions of the Chinese. I'm showing this to you because the silver squeeze will likely become way larger than the mere retail level narrative that we've been hearing for weeks now. Like Russia, China has been gearing up and stockpiling for this 21st century Cold War. Of course, everyone knows about the massive tonnage of gold bullion both those nations stockpiled in the 2010s. What few of us know is how much silver does China have? How are they going to bid silver away from the Western store of value guerrilla buyers right now? Well, we're going to let Jeff Curry finish this week's update as we go back in time to a presentation he made.
So here's the thing. So the point that he's making in the video is you can't trust these people from people like JP Morgan or Goldman and Sachs. Their job is to come on to mainstream media, their mainstream media buddies, and just really try to control the narrative to keep the masses from doing what's right. And what is the right thing, Pimpy, is to go into precious metals. I told you it's making a difference. So we already seen a difference on the 1,000 bars. Our 1,000-ounce bars here, and we just seen right now there's some shortage already in London. So when me and people are chatting, I said, trust me, you don't see it. Some of you guys aren't paying attention or know where to look. You are making a difference, okay? You are. So continue to fight. No matter what hold, it will make a difference, all right? That's what we're trying to do. 27. It's creeping up a little at a time, but it's going to. And again, don't fall for this. They're going to try to get you guys to fall for this. Man, I ain't gonna lie though. XLM at 27% is kicking ass. So nonetheless, they're going to use an artificial pump on cryptocurrencies to keep people from going to precious metals. The thing is, think of cryptocurrencies as fiat dollars. There's nothing that supports it. So if you had gold, and if you had a choice between gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies, yeah, no, sorry. I don't trust the direction that cryptocurrencies are going in. But I'm also smart enough to know there is a window of opportunity, and we are in that window now, in which we can make some money and then bail out and then buy more precious metals. All right, that's it for now. Hopefully you did hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later.